Right then lads, this is the day that you all skip. That's right, leg day. But the thing is, your legs are actually the biggest weapon when it comes to your golf swing. So today I'm going to talk about my top 5 leg exercises that are going to help you increase swing speed and increase overall driving distance. Let's get into it. So number 1 has to be the Romanian deadlift, or any form of deadlift, because your posterior chain is key when it comes to being explosive through your golf swing. And the Romanian deadlift is one of the best ways to really get your hip hinge right and get the most out of your glutes and hamstrings in a jumping motion. So normally for the Romanian deadlift, I would always say face the rack. I'm facing out just for video purposes so you can see what I'm doing. But the Romanian deadlift is probably the easiest and one of the best ways to learn the deadlift. And in terms of probably keeping injury risk to a minimum, it's also one of the best. So I would always start in a rack, just make sure it's just below hip height. Grip wise, you want to be just outside of your legs, which is usually where the knurling, that's right, this bumpy part of the bar starts. You're then going to lift it out, nice and straight, take a step forward and make sure your feet are around hip width, okay? Your feet need to be where you'd likely jump from. Now obviously our golf swing can be a bit wider, but for this one, we want them a little bit tighter. We're then going to focus on pushing our bum to the back of the room, taking the bar down to the middle of our shins. Okay, once we get to this bit, we want to feel like we're pushing through the floor and we're really squeezing and including our glutes at the top. Okay, I like to always add a little bit of a tempo, 1, 2, 3, and then a big squeeze at the top. So you're focusing on that explosive movement, but you really want to try and make sure your back is straight the whole time and you're feeling it through your hamstrings and your glutes the whole time. If you're feeling it through your lower back, you are simply doing this one wrong. And if you haven't done this before, you need to make sure you give it time because your hamstrings will probably stretch quite a lot at the start, but that's going to really help you gain a lot more mobility and flexibility for your golf swing as well. Honestly, it's a game changer. So when it comes to reps and sets, you probably want to start at 3 sets of 8 to 10. Then once you really get the movement down and start adding a bit more load, you might want to go to 3 sets of 6 to 8. And once you probably get there, you also might need some lifting straps, as ideally we want to push our hamstrings and glutes near to failure and not our grip. So number 2 is Bulgarian split squats. And these are literally like Marmite. You either love them or you hate them. And they genuinely make you completely legless, like you've been out for 10 beers. Now, the reason why we're going for a single leg squat instead of a back squat and a bilateral squat is that this is going to really help give us stability. It's going to correct any imbalances you may have, and it's really going to help your balance as well as your mobility and flexibility. Genuinely, this is one of the best movements you can do for your legs in the gym, and it's why it literally dominates most people's programs. All right, now you can do it just on a bench, simply putting your foot back, but I would always recommend doing it on a barbell with a pad, maybe on a Smith machine or in a rack. Just because, as you'll notice, when I get my squat stance away and pivot, just so I get a nice distance, when I put my foot back and then I start moving into my squat, my foot slides nicely. Sometimes when that's really firm, like a bench, you can very much push off this back leg and you probably actually feel quite a hard stretch through here, where it just allows you to move in more of a natural way. So when it comes to form, we're just focusing on literally doing exactly what I've just done. Sink that back knee down, keep your weight through your front leg, take yourself down until this thigh gets nice and flat, and then drive through that front leg nicely. Now, what I'd recommend is also starting with your weaker leg. Go for as many reps as you can. Ideally, rep range maybe around 9 to 11, okay? Once you've got as many reps as you can do here, you're then gonna put your leg exactly where the other one was, place that other foot back, and then literally continue to get your reps on your stronger leg. Now, loading options, we've got quite a few. We can either, and I'd recommend this if you struggle with your balance, go with something called ipsilateral. Yeah, really fancy word, but basically loading the same side as the working leg. This is gonna help you balance. If we then wanna challenge our balance, we're gonna go contralateral. So it's contradicting the body. And this is just gonna test our balance a little bit further. Once you're used to that one, you can even look to bring 2 dumbbells or 2 kettlebells and really just go and focus on that strength. But genuinely, it's absolutely brutal. So moving on to number 3, we've got a plyometric jump. Now, a lot of people do box jumps, but also a lot of people smash their face off a box as well. And I just think it doesn't need to be that unsafe, especially for beginners or people looking to build up. And just jumping is really going to help you get the adaptation you want when it comes to your goal swing. So what we're going to use is a band and just do a banded jump. What a band helps you do is gives you a little bit more help at the bottom and can really help you exert more speed and force back on the way up. So the key with this one is pretty simple, and I'm going to try to not hit my head off the roof. You're simply going to focus on getting in your goal stance, okay? So wherever you would probably get your feet for a driver, you know, making sure it's quite similar to your goal swing is where you're going to put your feet, and you're simply going to hold the band with both hands. Now, if you need a bit more help and you find it tough to get down there and really explode out your legs, maybe use a thicker band. I'm only using a light one because I normally actually try these without any help, but I'm just going to simply hold them with both hands, and I'm then going to focus, and this is a key part, to get down and get up as fast as possible. Not, all right, no, speed. So we're literally going to get yourself ready. You should almost have your feet a bit itchy, and then it should be bang. And you should feel like your feet hitting the floor again and trying to stop yourself. That's the big plyometric part of the movement. So once again, down and through. And what you're going to find you're doing is roughly around 6 reps. You don't need a lot of reps. It's all about explosiveness. And you think about the goal swing when it comes to absolutely ripping a drive, it's all about putting as much force and movement through that floor to really release out that club and absolutely boom that ball down the fairway. Plyometric jumps, get them involved. So number 4 is doing any form of sprint. Now, I'm on the bike because I prefer to do sprints on the bike. I just feel like it's less impact. I also feel like it's more accessible. You know, when I'm in the gym, I like to get my sprints done then. However, if you have a lovely bit of tarmac, a nice little field that you can go and do some sprints in, it is going to be fundamental to your goal swing and learning that explosiveness and speed. It's our most natural way to move and go at speed, and it's so effective to really help you gain more speed in your swing. So I would look to add, as I said, a sprint on the bike or a sprint outside into your program, and it will genuinely make a dramatic difference in helping you speed up your goal swing. Now, when it comes to doing it on the bike, I always try and go for roughly 15 seconds, something short and sharp where I can just explode as quick as possible. Once I've done that, give myself usually about a minute rest until I get my breath back, and then I'm going to go again. And I'm just going to repeat this for 4 to 5 sets and just really build up that speed and also a bit of fitness. Hitting golf balls really quick is hard on the body and hard on our fitness. So the better you can get your fitness, the quicker you recover, and the more pace and power and energy you're going to then have to hit your next shot. It's going to do you good. You ready? Yeah. Let's go. Oh, by the way, if you want some decent golf and gym cover, go check out the boys. AM10, you're welcome. Woo. So, 5th and final exercise is any form of standing calf raise. And you need to make sure your legs are dead straight. Not a seated calf raise, because that mainly uses our soleus. We really want to hit the top part of our calf here, our gastrocnemius, which is the key muscle when it comes to exploding out of position again. You'll notice all of these movements, all about explosive movements with our legs. And the variation I'm going to show you is a pretty simple one. Just standing against the wall, making sure I've got my heels starting on the ground, nice straight legs, and I'm going to push all the way onto my toes. Now, you don't want to be loading heavy with this one. All right, you want to focus on high rep ranges, 15 to 20, and making sure you've got a nice, strong, slow tempo, going all the way onto the toes, and really squeezing them calves, okay? Nice and steady. And if you do get to a point, well, that's a bit easy, and you want to add load, you can do it standing off a wall and then just holding a dumbbell or a kettlebell with another arm, or you can go onto a Smith machine, get the barbell or the bar on your back, and simply focus on getting as tall as possible. But keeping your legs nice and straight is absolutely key, and making sure you have a nice range of motion. Now let me say that again. Nice full range of motion with a nice controlled tempo. Get them calves, boys. So those are my top 5 lower body exercises. Now, someone might have a different top 5. However, those are the 5 exercises that I found through training people for over 5 years now have really transferred best when it comes to sport and performance, and especially golf. And by the way, if you want to know my top 5 core exercises and my top 5 upper body exercises, they're going to be on the screen now. And if you made it this far, I really do appreciate it, and make sure you destroy that like button. See you next time.